Welcome to Tune Up episode number 6,
where we give away a CSF radiator and give you a bunch of updates on some other random stuff around the shop, including ITB talks, S14 updates. It's all coming at you.
There's been a lot of talk in the comments section about the ITBs, or lack thereof, on the badass 2000.
It's a contentious issue, I know, and I think we have a pretty reasonable explanation for it, although it may
I thought
not
we
be
addressed it too, but we'll address it again.
Sure. Well, I mean, from my perspective, and I think Peter's is probably the same, it's really just a matter of us wanting to make that car as drivable as we can on the street. I know it's predominantly a track car. It's a car we built for the track, but we also really enjoy driving it on the street. And in our experience with the Gen V ITBs, it wasn't that drivable on the street. We were having problems with it falling out of sync. It didn't want to idle well.
No.
And it was just turning into a kind of a constant nagging issue. The car would sit for a month. We'd go to start it up. It wouldn't idle.
And you really had to warm the car up. You'd have to sit there with your foot on the throttle to kind of get it up to temperature before it was like drivable. And I mean, it's okay if you're building a track car, but the goal of this car was always to have a street/track car, like a dual-purpose car that you can drive to the racetrack and drive home. And I just don't think the ITBs were there. And you know, we're not saying you can't get there with ITBs.
No,
with these,
you can.
you could.
For sure.
It's just the time of the amount of effort and time needed to really devote into that. We just don't really have that right now. Like this project kind of is a project that we had finished, and you know, then we blew the motor up. So it was like, okay, how do we just get this car back together and get it to be fun again and drivable again? We just want to be able to drive it.
E-test.
Yeah, and we had to re-register it. So, you know, like with ITBs up here in Canada and Ontario, it is a plug-in test. So I don't know if ITBs would have worked.
No.
Or I'm sorry.
Wouldn't pass a visual test either, would it?
No, that would be an issue. And I mean, having to go away from the AEM, trying to get a stock ECU to work, like that would have been really, really difficult. So in the interest of time and getting this car back together, we decided to go with a stock motor. And we truly do believe like having a stock motor setup in that car is one of the best if you're looking for a dual-purpose street track car.
And a reliable one at that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to beat the reliability of a stock S2000 motor as long as you don't swap the oil pan off too many times. So we're just happy to have a reliable, fun-to-rip car again in the fleet, because frankly, we got too many cars sitting around here that don't run.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Nice to have
it's
one
been a nagging year like that.
It's been a bit of a rough year. So, but don't worry. You're going to see more S2000 at the track before the summer's over. We do plan to get it out there. We've got a couple of cool ideas for like track battles with it and stuff. So stay tuned for that stuff. I think that covers the ITB issue. By the way, I should say, Connie's got ITBs. You can buy an E06 M3 with ITBs, and those will run reliably on the street. So I think it really comes down to what ITBs are you working with, what motor is it going on to, what are your tuning solutions. Like, it's a complex issue, and for us on the S2000 just wasn't the right setup anymore. So
and I mean the Gen V stuff literally is built to go racing.
It's race stuff.
It's not, you know, the ITBs like on an E46 M3 or Connie
OEM engineered parts.
OEM stuff that has been kind of, all the little hiccups have been worked out. So.
And Gen V will straight up tell you that on their own website, that the F20 or F22C ITBs is for race cars. It's not designed for a road car, and they never intended it for that. So we were using it in a way that really they weren't intended for. I'll miss that 40 horsepower of mid-range that we saw on the dyno, because we've never really got to taste that at the racetrack.
I know.
So that's my one regret with having gone away from them, is that we didn't get to see how much faster it is. But now we get to see how much faster it is with an F22 versus an F20, which is a bump in torque. And a lot of people argue that the F22s are actually more powerful than the F20s.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see.
We'll put it on the dyno, we'll put it on the track, and we'll see where we're at. And that's its own comparison. So it's just new stuff for you guys to think about. All right, let's move on, Peter. It's time for the CSF giveaway.
Yes, this is a pretty awesome giveaway.
This is a big one. As you guys know, CSF makes all kinds of radiators and cooling solutions, and they were kind enough to offer up a radiator of your choice for your project car that we're going to give away right now.
All right.
Based on our Hot Lap Club. So to be eligible for this, you will have had to have A, gone and liked CSF's social media pages on Facebook and Instagram, and B, you would have had to gone to speedacademy.shop and signed up for our Hot Lap Club. If you did that, you'll be in our email database, which I've now loaded into random.org, a list of over 4,000 people, and it'll randomly generate a list from top to bottom from those emails. The one at the top will be our winner. Good luck, everybody! Randomize. Oh, we got James Hanby, 89 at something.
All right.
We won't say what so you maintain your privacy, but all right, we have confirmed that James is a real person.
Yes.
Congratulations, James Hansby, on your victory. You're now the proud new owner of a CSF radiator. I guess we could say, James, you just got a whole bunch cooler.
Oh, damn, that's a good one.
Snap, dad jokes are coming in strong. All right, that wraps up the CSF giveaway. Let's move on to talking about the next giveaway.
Oh, man.
Turn 14.
The Turn 14 one is a huge one.
It is a good one.
And it was a really fun one for us, right?
It was, yeah. Being able to run around in the warehouse and pick parts out.
That is a rare opportunity. You don't get to do that often.
No.
So,
and the selection in there is insane.
yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, they stock everything you can think of. So it was a challenge, I think, for both of us to pick something.
It really was. But I settled on some ST suspension, which is by KW.
Yeah.
Really great set of coilovers. And
I went for a package deal of a radium catch can, a coil rad radiator, and a brake pad and rotor upgrade from StopTech.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
I think that was my package.
Yep.
And we had you guys select which of those two prizes you would want on social media. So we ran a poll on our social media and Turn 14's.
Yeah.
And the winner is
Your package.
my package. Yes.
People, what you didn't
DP
want
knows what's up,
coilovers?
everybody.
Come on,
DP
they were
knows.
fantastic coilovers for your
Wow.
car.
You guys have chosen wisely.
It was close though.
It was close.
It was 55 to 45.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. 10% is a pretty big victory on my part.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Anyway, well chosen. And as with all our giveaways, you'll tell us what car you have so that you get the right rotors and pads and radiator and catch get set up for you. So don't worry about that. And we're going to do that giveaway at the end of this month, end
Correct.
of July.
Yes.
So stay tuned for the next tune-up episode where we'll select that
And just
winner.
make sure you're signed up for the Hot Lap Club and you've liked all the social pages of Turn 14.
Yes, they are our biggest supporter, I would
Yes,
say.
they
So
are.
Please do give them some love. And we have one other little giveaway idea that you've cooked up for
So
us
recently
here.
we've done a small little project with STP and they asked us to give away some products. So we have this really cool metallic,
It's a metal like a tin garage sign.
which is super neat.
Yeah.
And a bucket set.
Bucket and cups.
Yeah, which
glasses.
which includes glasses, I think some
Bottle opener.
coasters. So you're going to be ready to hit your patio in style with STP.
Or your man cave. I mean, they seem to be implying that wrenching and consuming beverages may go hand in hand.
No, you don't do that.
Some people have been known to do that. We don't do a lot of that here.
No,
but-
we don't. We're too busy. We're wrenching.
Yeah, Pete works me too hard
Yeah.
for there to be any beverage breaks. But how are we going to do this giveaway, Pete?
We're going to do it the same way. Just make sure you're signed up for our Hot Lap Club and you've liked all of STP's social channels. And at the end of the month, we're going to do this at another tune-up again. And
In the next tune-up?
Yeah, we're going to give 2 away.
Next tune-up's got 2 giveaways?
That's right.
We're going
We're
big.
amping it up. It is the
Alright.
summer after all,
All
you
right,
know?
all right. You're far too generous.
And
Pete.
these people, you guys have been great.
Yeah.
Watching all our videos, supporting us with Patreon and whatnot. So why not? We just
Sure.
want to
keep
keep
rolling.
on giving.
Keep it rolling. And now that we've got the giveaway stuff wrapped up, I guess we can move on to some other points of discussion that have been raised in the comment section on our videos, including a recent question that we get a lot is, what happened to the S14? Why is that project
It's
stalled?
done. We're just not doing it anymore.
We're over
I've
it.
given up.
It was a bad idea.
So difficult.
We should have put an LS
We
in
put too
there.
much money into it. So
It's a huge fail.
no, yeah.
The truth is, though, that we do often reach a point in a build where there's a break,
Yeah.
and that's for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, so this one, for example, we had to do a little bit of work on my daily driver, the E28 BMW. And so we just stopped working on the 240. That was like 2 weeks, so there's been a break, but it will be back. And
as a
we've
matter of
wrapped up the other project with
Yeah.
the BMW,
Yeah.
which you're going to see shortly, a bunch of cool E28 overhaul videos.
Yeah, that will be neat to see. And Connie's still going along, so
Yeah.
she'll still be in the mix. We could do a better job of saying at the end of the last S14 video, by the way, guys, there's going to be a break in the action here for
Yeah.
a month. The truth is, though, we don't always know that that's going to be the case because we haven't necessarily planned that far ahead.
No, and it's hard when you order parts. Sometimes parts are back ordered, or you think you need something and then you don't, and you need something else, and it's just the nature. If you are a long-time car builder, then you will know the struggle that we go through because we have not one, but like 3 to 4 cars going on at once always with this kind of stuff. So it's definitely difficult to manage, and we should be able to do a better job, and hopefully we will get there.
Yeah, we'd like to get to the point where every build is just clean sailing from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Maybe someday that dream will happen, but for now, just follow along and watch us struggle.
That's right.
That's the way it is. This is the truth about building cars.
Yeah.
Speaking of struggles, we have struggled to start the drift builds.
Oh, man.
We were planning to have started this like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
At least.
We had anticipated to get started on this, I think, in March.
Yeah.
Around, I think,
July,
February or March. And again, the truth of the matter is we're just behind on a bunch of these other cars. We thought we would have the 240 running by now, and Connie kind of at a point where she'd be ready to rip too. And that was kind of our goal, is to get those vehicles done and then start on the projects, because the biggest complaint you guys have is we never finish project. So we've been holding off on the drift builds just because we don't want to start them and roll them out, because we want to finish the other ones.
Right. And the drift builds are going to happen this year.
They will, 100%. I'm thinking within the next month or two for
late
sure.
Summer fall project as opposed to a spring summer project. So, but we'll still definitely do some skids this year.
Oh, I'm super amped for it. Like
me too. It's gonna be fun.
I'm excited. I'm ready to tear into these cars. I think the cars we have are pretty awesome.
They are pretty cool. Yeah, you guys have already seen one of the 2 cars.
Yeah, it's going to be really great.
It is. It's going to be a blast. So
the wait will be worth it.
Yeah, and watching a couple of racer/grip guys attempt to drift should be entertaining too. There'll be a steep learning curve.
A lot of embarrassment on our part, which I think will be laughter on your part.
Yeah, we'll eat some humble pie, and we'll bring in some better drifters to show you what the cars can really do. And I think we'll develop as drifters too.
Sure,
I'm looking forward to that. It's a new challenge for us as drivers. So that'll be a lot of fun. We've gotten some emails lately from guys asking us for a sticker that says "Rip Tech" or "Rippin' Tech," along with like a Speed Academy logo in the background. This is a phrase that I think maybe I coined just because I like to use strange words and invent things. Ripping Tech is pretty self-explanatory. Tech is short for VTech. We like to rip VTech around here, and I just shortened it to Ripping Tech. Some of you guys seem to like that saying and have asked for it on stickers or t-shirts. So Pete's a really good designer. So now that you've kind of planted the seed in our mind that you want this,
I'm going to come up with, I think, a sticker that may work on a t-shirt. So we'll see.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. We'll post those ideas maybe up on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, a couple design ideas for you guys to say yay or nay to.
And I think maybe last but not least, we'll wrap this tune-up episode with some what we're calling war stories or bench racing. We haven't decided on an official name for this segment yet, but it's going to be something we do in future tune-up episodes as well, and that is just share cool stories from our travels, our journey as racers and automotive journalists and former magazine editors and now YouTubers, I guess if you can call us that, although frankly I don't like the term YouTuber, and I'm not that keen to call myself one for some reason.
I don't either. I don't know why.
I don't know. YouTubers feels like daily vloggers who do like Kardashian updates or something. It's not really what we do here. Anyway, war stories. We thought maybe one of the funnier stories that we've shared in our travels together, because when Pete and I worked at Modified together, we did a lot of traveling together, and we've also just traveled together for racing. And this, I think, was a bit of both. We went to a Redline time attack event at Virginia International Raceway.
06?
I think it was 07. I think it was 07. With my tow vehicle, my trailer, and my race car. I had an EG Civic that I built for Canadian Touring Car Championship Racing. It aged out of that series, and I turned it into a time attack car, so I had taken it to some Redline events in the States. Redline, I don't know that they exist anymore. They've kind of been replaced by Global Time Attack.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But at the time, Redline was like the big American time attack series, and we were covering it for the magazine. But like we tend to do, we also wanted to participate, so we were kind of covering it as participants. So we towed the Civic down there with my early 2000s generation GMC 2500. Yeah, it was right around a 2000 GMC 2500 cargo van in
that was like
candy yellow.
Former
fire department vehicle or something. It had a strange history. I bought it from a guy who was like in the HVAC business down toward London, Ontario. it was like a $3,000 hoopty, just like already kind of on its last legs. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it.
The first time that you showed me that truck, I heard that typical like weird exhaust leak where you'd start it up and you knew one of the headers had like blown out a gasket, and it was really frustrating, but to fix it was so much work to get it.
The transmission didn't sound right either.
Yeah, and we decided and usually this car, the truck would tow, the van would tow pretty well.
Decently around Ontario.
But around here, everything's flat.
Pretty
so when
flat,
we did that trip, all of a sudden, it was just rolling hills.
Man.
And it was really hot out. It was in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
And my goodness, we would start going up a hill and the van would not accelerate.
No, it would have started to drop gears.
Like you would be in it like 50%, 60%, 70%, 80% throttle, and it would not go.
It was decelerating,
and
even though you're giving it more gas.
Yeah, it was super scary.
And then it would drop gear. So we were in fourth gear, and it would just lose fourth gear completely. Suddenly, you only had third. And then we lost third. All we had was second while we were climbing out of Virginia into West Virginia, where it's like super hilly. It's mountainous, really. The mountains in West Virginia are pretty epic.
Yeah, and it's single lane roads, which was super scary because I was always thinking, man, if we break down, we're going to create this huge backlog of people, and like we've got a truck and trailer, how do you deal with this? Yeah. So we actually at one point had pulled off and thought, why don't we take the Civic off the trailer and drive it? Because that'll relieve a lot of stress on the transmission.
Yeah.
And that way we can get the whole setup home at once. But then we said, like this is and it was a full race car.
There were no plates
Cage,
on it.
no plates, like aero.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
really a great idea, but we were so desperate because it was kind of getting to be like dusk.
Yeah.
And we pulled off to the side of the road in full hillbilly country in West Virginia. I was having like flashes to that scene in Deliverance where, the squeal like a pig scene where bad things happen in the woods. I was having visions of Peter and I being, made into boy toys by some hardcore West Virginia dudes, and panic was sort of setting in, and that's why we were thinking about taking the race car off the trailer and driving it. I was like, they can have the van and trailer, but I'm not letting them have the race car. So we're driving the race car home. But we sat there long enough, and the van cooled down enough, and then the sun set, and temperatures dropped pretty dramatically, and we're like, let's give it another try. So we reset the ECU, which we were having to do the whole trip because the thing would go into limp mode.
Yeah, basically. Once it would go into limp mode, you had to pull over and reset it.
So we would reset it, and suddenly it would the transmission would be happy again. So I think maybe the TCU was going into limp mode.
Yeah.
Maybe the ECU was. I don't really know.
I think it was a byproduct of temperature, and obviously, that kind of long haul. So because when the sun went down, like that thing. It's like it just had a second life. It just crazy. Came alive, and then we were able to cruise home. Yeah. The other big problem was the brakes were terrible on it. So horrible. It was really white knuckle. And there's certain spots in Pennsylvania where you're coming down a really large hill and there's lights.
Yes.
So, we were like, okay, please don't turn red. Don't turn red. This truck and trailer is not stopping.
No.
We're gonna have to blow through this. So it was just such a hair-raising white knuckle drive for about 7-8 hours.
Oh, it was horrible.
It took years off both our lives.
It did. It was a horrible decision, and we knew before we left. We were kind of like, we know this van is a piece of garbage. Yeah. Should we do this or not?
Yeah.
And we were kind of like,
but it was the first road trip, long one. So we actually after that we never ever used that van again.
I don't think we did. No, I think I parked it at Turtle Shop.
And that was it.
And I borrowed Kenzai Racing's diesel dually from then on out.
Yeah.
And I think Turtle ended up selling it for parts or something.
Good riddance.
That thing was a piece of garbage.
Oh my goodness.
So if you own a early 2000s GMC 2500 and you want to tow with it,
make sure the transmission is working well. Keep it in tip-top shape.
Do some maintenance.
Definitely.
Don't be like us. Transmission cooler on it. Maybe make sure it's got brakes.
Yeah.
Horrible.
You know what? And if you have any cool war stories, if you want to record them and send them to us, we may just feature them on one of these episodes.
Yeah. We'd love to hear what kind of adventures you guys have gotten into, and literally just set yourself up in your garage with your car in the background and tell us a cool story about one of your own driving adventures, racing experiences, horrible towing experiences, whatever it is. If it's car related and it's a cool story, then share it with us, and we'll do our best to share it with our audience.
Yeah.
All right, Peter.
I think that's a wrap.
I think that is a wrap. That's more than enough words for one tune-up. So thank you, everybody, for watching. We do appreciate it. And we're like we've said before, if you want to get in on all these giveaways, go to speedacademy.shop. Sign up for the Hot Lap Club. You won't regret it. There are literally no strings attached. Yes, you'll get an email once every 2 or 3 weeks, which is about the frequency we're able to do, with updates on content or on a sale that we're running or something very
beneficial to you.
Yeah, something that's not costing you anything. We're not selling your email address to anyone else, strictly for this newsletter that you get, and it enters you into these draws for free stuff. So there's really no downside to it. Go and do it. Show us the support, and we'll show you the support with free stuff.
As always, yes.
Time for a first look before we put this thing on the trailer. And I gotta say, I like what I'm seeing so far. Legit RE30 Volks with Yokohama 808 Rs.
My God, man.